say what you want to say and do what you want to do because you know we have rights here. Yes, we do have rights, but we have to be careful how we use our rights. If we put the wrong thing in, the wrong thing's going to come out. If we put the right thing in, the right thing will come out. Just like if I sit every day and I drink soda pop from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, what's going to happen to me? I'm not going to be able to produce anything because soda pop, even though you can't see the effects of it, it does have an effect. And so it is with sin or anything eating. Maybe I eat pizza from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. What's going to happen if I have a continual diet of pizza every single day, morning, noon, and night, snack time? I'm always thinking about it, and that's what I always put in. What's going to happen? It will consume my body so much so that pretty soon I won't be able to walk. Next thing you know, I can't breathe. The next thing you know, my stomach is so swollen I can't even get my clothes on. Why? Because that has been what I have fed myself over and over. It caused weight, but it wasn't a healthy weight. We need to be careful, men and women of God, of how we let things go into our temple, those simple things. The Bible says, little lump leaveneth the whole lump. Those little foxes get in, and they don't stay babies for long, but soon they grow and they mature. The same thing way it is with sin. If we let it fester around us and we don't keep our temples with all diligence, we become just like what we sit around, what we allow to be spoke to us, how we speak, what we say, what we wear. Don't you know that beauty is in the eye of Jesus, the most beautiful thing? But his beauty comes from inside out, not from outside in. Many times we think if we dress up the outside we can be accepted because my clothes look a certain way, and everybody else is dressed this way, so now I will be accepted. But don't I want you to know that if you are called and you have been handpicked by God to be his servant, it doesn't matter how much you put on the clothes and how much you try to act like the world, you will still not be like the world, because when God chooses you from your mother's womb, he doesn't say, I'm going to choose her later on. He chose you from the start. Means from the moment that you started taking breath, you was his. Now he wants, it's up to us as parents to set a godly example and to train up. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it. If my parents don't put the right things in me when I'm a baby, when I grow up as not, and that doesn't wait till I get grown. By the time I'm 4, by the time I'm 5, I know how to act. I act by what has been put in me. So if cursing's been put in me all my life, I don't care. You don't have to be 10, 13, 3 and 4 years old know how to cuss. Things that they shouldn't know, they know how to do. Why? Because the food they've been fed has not been the healthy food. It has not been that leads to life. Then when they get up some age and they're 13 and 14 and the parents are wondering, why is my child sitting in jail? Why is my child being beat by the police? Why is my child disrespecting me? Because when they were little, you put in them worldly things. You said it's okay. It's cute that this one says that word. And it's funny how that just looks so cute on them. So you excuse their sin. And then later on, as adults, when they're beating you and stealing from you, you wonder why. What did I do? And many parents sit down and cry, and then they want to go find the pastor then. And, Pastor, I just don't understand. But whatever you ingested, you gave it to your child, and they became what they see, and they became what they eat. Today, my thing to you is to please watch what you put in your temple. Watch how you take possession of things that seem innocent in the eye of the world today, but in the end will bring destruction. Watch and pray and keep your heart. The Bible says to keep your heart with all diligence. In order to keep your heart, you must again sit around that which is wholesome, that which is good, speak that which is pure, that which is honest, that which is a good report. God said, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, give yourself to those things. Think on them. And when you are thinking, today, God, I don't want to wear something that would not bring you honor and glory, that does not please you. Dress me, God. Your wardrobe changes. When you get up with the mind of Christ, today, everything I do, God, I want it to be for you. So then you put a watch over your mouth. And many people think being loud and always notice, those people are really people who are hurting, who are crying for help. And many of them go the wrong way. But thank God that He chose you, He chose me. And we may have gotten off the path because we weren't always instructed in the right way. But there's a God right now, while there's life and breath, that can turn you back around, and you can become what He had planned from you before He pulled you from your mother's womb. He had planned that we would, God's plan for mankind was that we would come upon the earth, be a light and an example of Him, because He had left the earth. His plan was that He would have people walking down here that could still say, follow me as I follow Christ. No, I don't fit in this crowd because my home is not here. My home is in a heavenly place. We need more of that. We need to come back to coming home and sitting down with the family and talking and laughing and working out our salvation with fear and trembling. We need to come home and turn off TVs and spend time to get to know each other as a person. We need to come home and sit and have time of prayer and be quiet where God can speak to us, so that when we leave our homes, we leave dressed in Him, not in just our clothing, our outward clothing, but our inward clothing is of Him, so that when we come out, we're like a light. Jesus said we're like a beacon on a hill, which is like what do they call those? A lighthouse. Thank you very much. A lighthouse, that you can't hide a lighthouse. The light is so bright, everybody follows it. Where the light going, they following it. Why? Because it's so bright, and they want to know where it's going. That's how we should be living our life. When we enter, we're going to interact with the world, but we don't have to be the world. And when you are on your job, you can say, I would prefer that you don't speak like that, that you watch what you say, because this is the temple. I'm the temple of God. And I don't want anything going in that's not bringing Him honor, Him glory. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to talk like you. I don't need to fit in with you, because my home is not here. I'm preparing to go to another place. Make sure today that you can honestly look at God and say, God, are you pleased with me? Because I'm sure pleased with you. And if you can't have that testimony, then I pray and I ask that you would get in your prayer closet, or have someone who is seasoned in the Word of God call them and speak to them, so that you can get back on the right path where you ought to be, because our destination here was to represent Christ, lead people to Him, and leave here going back to Him, and them following us. If we're not doing that, then we need to be careful and watch who and what we're allowing ourselves to take possession of. I ask that you would start house cleaning. Do house cleaning, and sometimes that means pulling away from people, closing your doors and saying, no, I can't go tonight. I can't be a part of that. No, I can't be along in that, because that's not uplifting. If it doesn't uplift, bring healing and life. It brings death. And we don't want to be cold, saying we're serving God. When you're doing coldness and you're serving God, it's like a fence. And you're sitting on top of it. Which way? I think I'll flip this way today and I'll flip that way tomorrow. God said either you're hot or you're not. And so in these last days, let's become lights, pillars, a lighthouse where people can say, it was good that I was with them. They have something I want. And I'm going to keep hanging with them till I get it. Let us be that lighthouse. Let us watch and take rightful pride in possessing the things of the Lord and not the things of the world.
From my heart to the heavens, Jesus be the center. All around, all around you. From my heart to the heavens, Jesus be the center. All around, Jesus be the center. So find So Jesus be the center of your church. Jesus be